users with different communication modalities, like the ability to express themselves, maybe a yes or no or an abstain are just not enough for what you're trying to convey in your quotation, right? And sometimes you don't want to, or you can't post a comment because, I don't know, English is not your native language, because you don't know how to, or you don't feel to write a comment and get tangled into discussions. So the idea of this is, once you're about to vote on a grant, this is only available in grants right now, but in the future it will be available in different type of proposals. Not every type of proposal, but some of them, the more complex, the more lengthy ones. You will be able to see how you're feeling about the grant that you're voting. Maybe you like the idea, the team is okay, you love how they optimize the budget, so you will be able to add all that metadata to express how you feel about this. The important thing about this is the sentiment is going to be public, so at the bottom of the grant proposal, you will be able to see how people is like expressing their feelings about this. And also, we are sending these to Snapshot. So if you want to do wherever you want with this information, it's public and it's available on the metadata field of the Snapshot vote. So it's public for everyone to use and to do wherever you want. So yeah, I think that's it regarding features that we launched. Actually, this is the one that it's outdated because we just made a release. So hiding proposal and filter shady votes are in production right now. But I won't spoil you with this. We're gonna be working, or we actually been working on the hiding proposal. This is the governance proposal about adding a specific category. Or it was like a sub proposal from governance proposals about adding and removing people from committees. You know how the latest committee elections went, the DAO committee, revocations committee. I mean, we all felt the pain of not having a proposal specifically for this. So now it's out there, it's available for everyone to use. We're going to be working also on removing the shady votes. And when I say shady, I mean the bot votes, like votes with like 0 BP or 1 BP or things like that from voting results. And we're going to be releasing the bidding and tendering process V1 soon. And when I say soon, is actually in the past, the first two, because we released it like 5 minutes ago, and the bidding and tendering probably in the next week. Then next steps, we're going to be working on the first version of the badges for the DAO. This is going to be basically a pilot of using soulbound tokens to basically mint soulbound tokens to identify people in the DAO for contributions. Like if you're a grantee, if you're part of a core unit, if you're part of a committee, you will get a specific badge that will be displayed on your profile. And in the future, after we go through governance proposals and things like that, we will be able to maybe mint badges based on, I don't know, top voters or top proposal authors or things like that. And finally, we've been doing some pretty good progress on the multi-wallet delegation. This is something that it is a complex topic. There's a draft proposal, and I'm about to send a governance proposal regarding this. This is basically about changing the way delegation works in our DAO and hopefully in other DAOs too. Because at the moment, delegation is one-to-one. So basically, you delegate all your voting power just to one address. And that leads to a situation where if you have to, or if you want to delegate to multiple people, you have to first split your assets into multiple wallets and then delegate. And that it's a complex, cumbersome, and expensive process. So the idea would be for the people to delegate from one wallet to multiple wallets on the same transaction, and ideally to do all of this in Polygon instead of mainnet, or in Polygon in addition to mainnet. We sent a couple of messages. Yesterday, the engineering team of the governance squad did like a hackathon session, and they basically made a lot of progress, and they put there the things that they worked, like they deployed the contracting early, they started testing it, they deployed a multi-delegation subgraph. So that's something that's going to be, it's going to be there soon. I think that's it. Finally, you can binge watch us. All the work that we do is public. You can see our releases on the GitHub repo. You can see our team board. You can see our demos, and you can provide feedback on the Kani page with the tag governance. I will share this presentation right away, so you have the links. And I think that's it. I don't know if there are some questions. So
Hi, Gino. This is Chris from MetaTrackers. I just have two quick questions. The first one, I know I say this every time, but again, amazing job, man. Every time we come here, you always bring a new idea, fresh idea. So, man, big ups. I just have two quick questions. The first one is, I see that earlier in the week you said that the VP delegation, it will be like, I guess, like 10%. It'll be evenly balanced, right? 10, 10, 10, 10. If we wanted to like delegate it, for example, this person has 63%, this one has 23%, could we delegate like that, or it's automatically set?
At the moment, that's a trade-off that we've made to reduce the complexity of the project. So it's going to be even. So if you have 100 VP and you want to delegate to 10 people, it will be 10 each.
Okay, so it has to be even. There's no other way around it, right?
Yeah, for now, yeah.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. And the last question is, I remember, I think about 2-3 weeks ago in the DAO Discord, people were kind of like not upset, but just like HP brought it up, but like like it's an extra step we have to click in order to see the votes. So it kind of people were kind of like a little worried about it. I'm just curious, and then you say that you're going to collect data, or you're going to see which is the better step. You're going through a testing phase. So I just want to know, have you collected any data, or what measures are you trying to do to see which way is better? And I'm not saying I disagree with it. I'm just curious to see how you're going to make your final decision.
So regarding like quantitative data, we are looking at how many votes are casted on average. If the number doesn't go down, that might mean that the friction is not that big. But we are mostly interested in qualitative data and trying to understand if if the users felt some difference when voting, or if the how can I say, like the not looking at the results before voting made some change on their minds. So that's why we decided that maybe we will release a survey or something like that. But first of all, if votes doesn't go down, that's of course a good sign. But we know that there are some specific use cases, and we actually started to think, okay, maybe we need to make this like a profile setting option, right? So if you want to see the results, okay, there's a setting somehow where you can turn on and turn off that feature. I mean, that's one of the ideas.
Okay, and just a quick suggestion, and I'm gonna finish. Cause I know everybody's busy. A quick suggestion, maybe what you can do as well, Zeno, is like maybe you can make an optional like survey at the end. Like if people want to, you can say, "Do you like this new feature?" But it's optional. If people want to say yes, yes. If they wanted to ignore it. And maybe that's another way you can do as a survey, where after they finish voting, just how you do the emojis. This can be an optional survey, and some people will respond, some people will not. But maybe you can get data from there as well. But regardless of whatever, you're doing an amazing job. Keep it up. I love this energy you're bringing.
Thank you. All right, folks, let's move to the next team. Thank you so much. Let me know if there's any doubts or concerns.
Okay, thanks, Nino. Thanks, Chris, for that questions. It's really awesome what you're doing, and the upcoming developments are like pretty dope. So thanks for that, and to the whole governance squad. So yeah, next topic in the agenda is about DAO operations and facilitation operations. We could start with the working group's proposal that has passed, and I think I already mentioned this a couple of times. After a lot of work behind this project, they finally passed, and well, we've got now several steps to take before going live in the DApp. So again, that's why we're working closely with the governance squad. And in the meanwhile, we're starting to run some pilot tests, I will say. And many of you probably saw that a couple of days ago, I think it was a week ago or two, we created a strategic planning working group channel in the Discord. And yeah, there's many people that's getting involved, and this was based on a proposal that Lord Like submitted a couple of weeks ago. So we are using this as a pilot test by setting up a Notion page to provide an open space to serve as an index, to upload files, to assign roles, onboard collaborators, share information, and visualize the working group progression. And we are doing this in the meanwhile, while the governance squad develops this working groups thing in the DApp, and we are using it also for gathering some feedback from the community about how this could be the best way to do it, right? Um, we are trying to keep it simple as we can. So I'm going to share the link first with you all. And if you want to give us your feedback, if you want to suggest, I don't know, if something should be removed or added, like I said, like I mentioned, in order to uh, keep it simple, please reach out. And also, well, all this is for providing some project management tools that we lacked of in the Discord dynamic. I will say we have a lack of that tool. So when we use this Notion page, and well, after when we integrate this with the DApp, we will have that tools for the facilitators and for the community to use them. The next thing that we want to update you on is about the request for information proposal that's also being discussed for a couple of weeks now. The update on that is that we are putting together a draft proposal. We are just giving some final tweaks, mainly about the channels that we are going to use for gathering all the questions and like then answering that questions to the community. But yeah, in the next few days, I guess we're going to submit that proposal. And we've got two more points in the facilitation and operations agenda. The next one is about the committee election process proposal. So I know, Matt, do you want to jump into that?
Yeah, thanks, Fede. For the committee election process proposal, we're looking at all the elections for committee positions that we've had over the past 6 months and in general. So the DAO committee process, the revocations committee process, as well as the wearables curation committee, and looking to establish a formal pathway that is applicable to any committee and is based on the initial proposal that was passed for election of DAO committee members, so that we don't have to engage in this sort of ad hoc process using the governance pathway that we've been doing thus far. So fundamentally, nothing new is going to be introduced into that proposal. It's going to be more a consolidation of existing policies and procedures, and putting it into a single pathway that will then eventually integrate into the governance DApp. So we have a more vertical process that we don't need to use the single proposals like we've been doing. So that's that. We'll be putting that out after we wrap up the ongoing revocations committee election.
Thanks, Matt. Also want to mention that we are having a lot of back and forth with the rest of the core units about this, just to agree on a consensual process for this. So thanks to all of the other people that are collaborating with this. The last topic in the agenda, or well, in the facilitation agenda, is about strategic communications. So Nat, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me? Oh,
Perfect.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
cool. Just checking. I rather. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's been a busy past 3 weeks since we last met. Great to be back here with everyone. And some of the things I've been working on include continuing to host the technical MAs with the foundation. So, in case you don't know, we just had a time change for those. They're now happening on Thursday. So we had one this morning at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also continuing to host and coordinate Twitter Spaces. If you've missed those, I'm also uploading them to our DAO YouTube channel. Our last one with the Grant Support Squad, we spoke about all the grants, new grant cycle, user testing, and also wanted to reach out to all you guys here. If any of you guys have any ideas for spaces, please feel free to DM me and I can add you to my database schedule for those as well. I'm also joining up with a strategic planning working group with Lord Like and Fede, and I'm helping with a strategic comms portion and continuing to build out other deliverables about the DAO and continuing to work and create and plan and post content to Twitter, YouTube channel, our weekly newsletter as well. Also, if you've never checked either of those out, I highly encourage you guys to head over, follow us on our Twitter account and our YouTube channel. Lots of great content on there. Started working and planning out the next 2 monthly pulse portions for our the facilitation squad, continue to also work with grantees on helping promote events, projects, and updates for that. And last but not least, we have an awesome in-world meetup today after Town Hall finishes up with Tang Poco. So she's here. Hey, so happy you're here. And we'll be posting the link and hosting it here as we usually do. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Fede.
Thanks, Ned, for that. A lot of work, yeah, that we've been doing this last week. So yeah, glad that also the Twitter Spaces are working really well. A lot of engagement from the community, a lot of participation. So yeah, great work on that. Well, the next thing, I think we can jump into the Grant Support Squad updates. So I know Sino or Gia, if you want to jump into this.
Hi everyone, yes, Gia here from the Grand Support Squad. So I'll start with the squad updates as always and then move forward with our invited guests for today. The first thing is about the new quarterly budget. So as we have announced in the general Discord channel and yesterday also on the Twitter Spaces, we'd like to let you know that a new quarter has started this month. And first of all, yes, thank you, Facilitation Squad, because you opened that space for us to share the news and more details about the program to other audiences yesterday. It was really, really cool. There were a lot of questions made by the community regarding how did the first quarter end. So here we'd like also to share some insights about that. It is important before to bear in mind that this quarter started in January, but the grants program resumed in March the 1st. So it is important to acknowledge that proposals were received only during 1 month of the entire period. And the next quarter will be able to make a better analysis on how percentages were used along the 3 months of the quarter. But for quarter number 1, there were 7 proposals that passed. 3 of those proposals were from platform using a little bit more than 35% of the allocated funds for that quarter. And there were 4 in-world content proposals that passed, having like 99.1% of the allocated funds for that quarter for that specific category. And besides those, there were also 15 proposals from other categories such as accelerator or core units, social media, content, and documentation, but they did not pass the threshold. But we are waiting for this new quarter for them to reapply. And then also it is important to note that all the money that was not allocated to grants from one quarter are funds that stay in the DAO treasury, because there were questions about that too. And that we have on our roadmap from the Grant Support Squad to review how these changes to the program that were executed in March evolve, and how can we adjust these changes to better serve not only the grantees, but also to take care of the treasury and hearing, of course, the comments of the community. So it was really valuable what we had yesterday, and keep those comments coming because we are going to build this hearing all your thoughts. Then the second one that I'm really excited about is the revocations committee. We're really close to having a revocations committee. So the binding governance proposals for each committee member have been posted today by Sino. So I invite you to go test the voting module that our governance squad launched with these committee members, and to go vote, please vote for the committee members that you consider will do a good job in this position. I will put these links here because I think it's really handy. Here they are. And we will post the substitutes later today or tomorrow. So expect those too. Then regarding fostering transparency on our side, we are slowly creating public roadmaps with the grantees for the community to see how the developments are going by each of the projects funded by the DAO. And also, it's a good way of opening our follow-up process to you all. So I will also share this Notion link. This is an ongoing process, but we are going through all of the grantees to also put them here. Sorry. I thank you, Sino, you're the best. Good. And then also the last thing that I have for you today is that Testing Tuesdays, we have started minting POAPs to recognize the contributors that come and join us in these sessions. And we are going to make a gaming Testing Tuesday on May the 2nd, so save that date because that one will be super fun. And then another thing is that after the 10 sessions of the Testing Tuesdays, we are planning to do a retrospective session in May. So if you have attended one of the testing sessions, you will receive an invitation to join us. And please come because that's the only way that we can know how to make these Testing Tuesdays better, not only for you testers, but also for the grantees. And then the only thing is that if you haven't participated on these Testing Tuesdays, but you would like to attend one, I will share the link to the form so you can join us and be a tester in the future. And meanwhile, let's welcome our grantees for today. The first grantee that we are having is Metagami Mall. This project is a metaverse mall that includes the development of mini games inside this mall for brands to showcase their collections and also reward Decentraland users. So, a ver, Sino, you have it there.
Yes, I'm starting to share my screen.
We can see it. Yes.
All right.
We provide rich experiences from multiple mini-games to the music stages, and we insert advertising in those experiences to make sure that the brands get exposure. You will see various forms of brand advertisements here. Some are logos, some direct players to their Twitter or Discord, and some are 3D models of brands' products. And in return, brands will provide attractive but limited wearables or NFTs as rewards, and players need to collect enough materials in games to claim the rewards. In this process, they will also notice brands' advertisements, which is how we bring awareness to brands. Those wearables rewards are getting more and more creative. Some brands will give the holders some of their tokens as a way to attract players. Some give it game utility, and some even would give a fancy coffee cup in real life to the holders. It is not hard to understand why players want to spend time earning them, for fun and profits. We usually released a batch of wearables and rewards together in our large-scale event MetaMine. We used the MetaMine event to onboard Coca-Cola, Meme Coffee, Sensorium, and 10 more high-quality brands into Decentraland, and we helped them design and create their first Decentraland wearables. We have also invited famous Decentraland community projects like Decentral Games, Knights of Antrim, and BP Farm, and we launched dual game utility wearables together for the players. Since we started operating, we have held 20+ events in various scales, recorded around 9,000 unique users in our database, and we have had an average of 230+ daily active users for almost a half year. Most of the time, our concurrent users rank top 2 to 5 among all Decentraland projects. And recently, we saw a maximum of 120 concurrent users due to the MetaMine Season 2. You are welcome to drop by now to feel the hype. There are a lot of other cool features of Metagami Mall. For example, a super avatar swap that can be understood as a Gami Mall version of linked wearable. We cannot explain them all in this short video, but you are welcome to discuss them with our team here or in our Discord. Finally, as a DAO grantee, we've open-sourced most of our codes. We will keep creating, and we wish our hard work can keep onboarding brands and players, and of course, contribute to the prosperity of Decentraland.
All right, thank you so much, Sino, for that. While you can set up the second grantee, I'll introduce a little bit. So they are Soul Magic. They are led by Mazak, and this is a role-playing game about a magic school where players can mine ores and can craft wearables and alchemize within the world. And that also has its own in-game currency, which is called Midas. So let's check it out.
Hello everyone, this is Masak from Soul Magic, and it is an honor to be here today to share with you about the updates of Soul Magic. So let me first start by introducing myself. I'm a co-founder of Soul Magic and a game designer. You can add me on Discord, and you can follow Soul Magic's Discord in order to get the latest update of the project. Soul Magic is a magic-themed RPG, and we have 2 locations in Decentraland. The first one is Elswith Magic School, which is the main location. And surrounding the magic school, players can mine ores, alchemize and craft wearables, and also do farming in the farming area. They can also collect gold meters, which is the in-game currency every day in the school. So we also launched Anchor Temple recently in late March. It is where the Discovery and Trinity Crown quest takes place. Meditation skill was launched in January this year, and it is an important skill in Soul Magic. So players can meditate in order to restore soul, as they will consume soul when they perform activities such as mining and farming in the game. Alchemy and crafting skills were launched in February this year, and alchemy is the skill that combines mining ores into alloys. So there are 3 levels of alloys that requires different levels of alchemy. And crafting is a popular skill in Soul Magic because it allows players to craft wearables from the alloys they alchemized and the magic stones they collected through mining. So we have 2 wearables for players to craft. The first one is Wolf S, which is a pickaxe that adds mining bonus in the game. And the second one is called Minotaur Metal, which is the wearable that enables players to unlock Discovery skill. So Anchor Temple is where the Trinity Crown quest takes place, and with the metal, players can dig the excavation sites in order to discover new game items and train the discovery level. So discovery is a new skill in Soul Magic. It allows players to find new game items from digging, and also it is required to find certain items in order to complete the Trinity Crown quest. So the quest is actually a treasure hunt game, and we implemented Decentraland World in the game, where is the final location of the Trinity Crown. So some players found it pretty tricky because there was a coordinates shown in the treasure map, but the coordinates is actually located in the Decentraland World, but not in Genesis City. And Trinity Crown became a popular wearable with trading volume of over 500 mana after launch. So during the Metaverse Fashion Week, we partnered with a Web3 fashion brand called Poppy, and we launched a collab store in Dragon City. So there was a wearable crafting event that allows player to claim our legendary items, and we have 5 items for players to craft. And during the event, our mythic werewolves were sold out quickly. So as for our roadmap, we'll continue to look for collaboration with other projects and also communities. In April, we will launch our exchange center that allows players to trade the in-game resources in Soul Magic. And for the next 2 to 3 months, we will launch the magic spells and magic spell book in Soul Magic, and also the PvP game related to the magic spells. So our plan is to launch our game token in the mid to long term. This is the end of our presentation today. So thank you very much for your time.
All right, and I think that's it on our side, Fez. I don't know if we can take questions now, or would you rather say that for later?
No, yeah, I was about to say, well, first of all, thanks for sharing those updates. And I was about to say that we can move towards the open forum. So if you want to make questions about the grantees updates or anything else, this is the moment. Also want to remind you that after this town hall, we are having an in-world meetup at the Dollhouse to get a tour from our grantee Tang Boko. So, yep, open to questions. Okay. Well, I think that's all then, if there are not questions. So let's jump, for the ones that are staying, let's jump into the in-world meetup. And well, thanks everyone for joining. It was a session with a lot of updates, with a lot of content, so really glad to be here with you. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you, Fede.
Yeah, with that, let me get everything set up, and I'm going to paste the link to our in-world meetup. And I believe Tank Poco's in the house. If you want to unmute yourself, we can all jump into her dollhouse parcel here. I'm going to jump in right now as well. And then we'll get started. And I'll show screen. So I just pasted the link in our town hall chat, and also it's in our Discord general channel as well. Let's see, it's still loading. It'll take a little minute. And Tang Poco, I think I told her it would be a little bit later, since normally our town halls run a little bit more. But if she is, I see her here. If you can unmute yourself, please do so. If not, we'll just all jump in and wait in there for her to join us.
I think she's server muted. So
Oh, really?
a moderator, yeah.
Ooh, let's see. Can somebody unmute her? I don't know if I am able to do that. HP or...
Try to right mouse click on her name. Then you...
Yeah, it's not showing that it's muted for me.
Oh.
Nope, neither for me.
If HP, if you could... Yeah, try leaving and coming back in. If you could do that, Tank Poco? Yeah. That sometimes works for me too, if I'm not able to...
That's not going to help. The server mute is something that one of the admins did. Somebody's going to have to undo it.
And Fractarians, I don't think HP is on. He already disconnected.
No, he's here. He's here. I see him right there.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's here.
HP,
Okay.
could you server mute Tank Poco?
Yes.
Thank
Done.
you. Yay! Thank you for being here as always. Oh, cool. I'm already dancing away in there. Here, I'm going to screen share, and hopefully you're able to talk now.
Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yay! Woohoo! So excited. Here, I'm going
Hello.
to... I don't know if you want to screen share, or do you want me to screen share? What would be easier for you?
I think you can screen share.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
Oh,
I
wow. The
give you
dollhouse is
permission,
full.
Yeah,
Natalie,
everyone's
to
there
mute
bouncing,
and unmute.
having fun. Look at this. Woo.
See you. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to give you a little tour of the dollhouse, and actually deployed a couple of other builds that I did over the last year. So maybe we can even jump around a little bit.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, and I was hoping, especially for the people who are, we post this up on our YouTube, maybe you can give a little introduction about the space and yourself and how you got into Decentraland before we dive in and get a tour from you.
Sure. I think a lot of the people here already know me, but
Yeah.
I'll be happy to kind of talk about how I got in the space. I came in, I think it was around May of 2021. And around that time, I had just discovered NFTs, and I was looking for a place where I could possibly display and maybe even sell an architectural NFT. That brought me to looking for virtual worlds, and I was looking at that time, Crypto Voxels, Somnium Space, and Decentraland. The reason I came to Decentraland was because I found it on Reddit, and the builder, Economist, was, I think he had deployed an architectural NFT at that time. It was like a little cute little Japanese it was a Japanese chess playing place, I want to say. It was a cute little Japanese hut. I loved it. I reached out to him, and he was so friendly and so welcoming and warm. And really, that's something that is special, and I think unique to Decentraland is just there's not just a warmth and a readiness to help. I mean, people are really invested in onboarding, and that it makes it so welcoming for people to come here. And he was just the same back then as well. He got me set up with a wallet, and he ended up actually renting a patch of land to me. So that's how I came here. And, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but really, Decentraland has changed a lot. There was not a whole lot to do, and there was not a whole lot of people that I could find. And I kind of wandered around a long time by myself until I discovered kind of the casino crew. And then I met great people like Sinful and Father Finn, and started to, kind of find myself and figure out what I wanted to do here. Part of what I wanted to do was make some wearables. So made a few outfits. One in particular was a pink one that we called the baby doll, and from there we started hanging out as a group and called ourselves the baby dolls, and then we made the dollhouse, and here we are now.
Yeah, I figured I'm like everyone here, we're all fans, but I love that. Thank you
you.
for sharing that. And it's so great to see such a full house of people rocking it out. Yeah, I was there yesterday for your event. It's always packed in here. It's wonderful to see. Yeah, and I wanna just show us around, and I would love also to like maybe a little background on how the crew behind building your spot, and you're saying you deployed a couple new things. I would love to have you talk about that. It'd be wonderful.
Yeah, okay. I mean, actually, I deployed the first building, that first architectural NFT that I was talking about a few minutes ago at -60 and 125. If you guys want to see that, that'll be kind of a cool place to start it off. And we'll
Cool.
play
So
some music and
-60.
oops,
Woohoo!
not I put
-60,
the
125.
I put the wrong chords in. Don't click that one, guys.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. You have like one for us. I'll follow the one you sent. That's even better.
I defaulted to -69. Okay. -60, 125. Let's jump. So I feel like we should like play some like music
I
here
know.
and have like a
I
voiceover
know.
that says, like the story begins here.
Totally. Do you want to paste the link in here so everyone goes make sure that everybody's on the right realm still and doesn't
For sure.
Thank you so much. Woohoo. Okay, let me close mine. Let me see. Yeah, there needs to be some fun cutscenes when everyone's like traveling, within Decentraland to some other parcel, and some funny, like, weird Easter eggs that you could fall into. That would be so fun.
Yes.
Like, you
Yes,
didn't end
yes,
up where you're
yes.
supposed to, and you're here. It's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and you're just like hanging out with your towel somewhere, like all alone. How
I
the
love
hell
that.
did I end up here? Okay, I'm in the right place or no?
I don't know. Are you?
I
There's like
think
a
so.
little tiny. I see it.
-61.
I
Oh,
got
there you are.
negative 60 and
Yay!
125. Yeah.
I see you.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay, so it was just a little one parcel build that we did in a architectural style called brutalism, which is kind of like
Cool.
big slabs of concrete. And one of the things that I love about Decentraland is that you can do a lot of stuff here that you really can't do, and virtual worlds, I should say, not specifically Decentraland, that you don't have to really follow the rules of physics. You can make things that would never be able to stand up, except in a virtual world.
Definitely.
Yeah, and another thing was that I really wanted to be able to show my own personal artwork as well, which is on the walls here, and of course my NFT collection is downstairs as well. And there's
Oh,
even a
wonderful.
picture of I think Sinful's 99-cent NFT is still hanging here, and maybe even one of his rare shoes is hanging inside this building. It's been a long time.
It's awesome. So
It
in
really,
terms of like,
I
just
haven't been here in a long time. It's really bringing back memories. It's kind of nice.
love it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it was just a quick question. Like, so are you also like, are you working with a team? Are you designing it yourself, or how do you when
Hmm.
you're?
Yeah. I've been lucky enough in my life to work with a lot of 3D modelers and 3D programmers. So when it was time for us to start thinking about this, it was pretty easy to get a like-minded team together. And the modeler in particular who helped me design this is just this really experienced architect who comes from the game industry.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and that's kind of an interesting thing to talk about as well, is that because he's had so much experience in the game industry, he remembers the times back before in the first kind of consoles that came out where you really didn't have a whole lot of space. So you needed to optimize. So I think that these kind of really more experienced older gamers who have been kind of feeling like they've aged out of the industry really have a chance to kind of reignite their careers by coming into places, virtual worlds where optimization and efficiency of building is so key. They just have like tricks up their sleeve from back in like the N64 days that the kids these days they're spoiled, right, with so many
Oh, hell yeah.
triangles. But if you can make it look this good in under 10,000 tries, I mean, come on, that's like godlike powers, I think.
Oh,
So
totally. And like optimization, and one of my friends, Boombox, said he's all optimization is a lifestyle, right? It totally is like an amazing thing that people within here, and also I think having those limitations is really like a doorway to creativity too.
I've always said the same thing too. That's when I think real creativity comes, is when you have restrictions that you need to work within, and is the same with money restrictions, like budgetary restrictions or
Yes,
polygonal restrictions or whatever it is. That's where creativity comes, when you need to push past boundaries.
totally. Love it.
So yeah,
I'm definitely
super proud of this building, and we actually ended up selling a couple. And I wish I could find the owners of those original buildings. I stumbled across one once and then forgot the coordinates and never saw it again. I just, it was so long ago. It might even be people that I know today that don't realize that I was the one who sold them this NFT. I love the way Peanut looks on the very top of the building right now.
or is
Peanut
he
butter
there
is
he is.
there's right. He's like a hood ornament. Peanut butter always makes a build look better. Oh, thank you for posing, Peanut.
I always see that wherever he is somewhere cool, and I'm like, where's Peanut Butter? I need to find how he got up there.
He is. He's the cherry on top of all the builds in Decentraland. So from here, and we can go back to -100 now, which is next to Dollhouse. From here, somebody saw one of these builds, and don't click that. I messed up the link again. I'm kind of nervous.
Oh, you're awesome. I remember when I was a couple times, I think maybe once or twice on the Sandstorm contest thing, you were
Yes.
on there. It was so much fun. You're excellent. It's so great
No,
to always
you're
have
excellent.
no, whatever. You have, I mean, and especially with like, I mean, I guess we can dive in when we head over there. All your amazing events and experiences, especially since Metaverse Fashion Week is so fresh and just happened. Would love to hear some stories about that. I'm sure you've been talking up a storm about it. I think you were just on the Decentraland Foundation Twitter Spaces as well, right?
Yeah, that's right too. With all the baby dolls, which is really cool. We don't get too many chances to speak as a group together, so that was really an exciting thing. And I hope that more people will invite us as a group onto different panels. So we're at the Dollhouse, but I actually wanted to bring you over to Drip Society next door.
Okay, here, let me
Over
get the
here,
link.
guys.
You have
Over here,
where's the
guys.
link
I mean, it's
to?
like
I know, like,
literally
I'm like I'm
it's
running
literally next
slow.
door.
Okay, cool. There we go.
So the person who wanted me to build Drip Society is Banquet, and they had saw the little Magna building that I just took you to, and they said, "Oh, can you do the same thing? But can you do it as a sneaker museum on this patch of land?" So that is what we did here. We tried to make the Metaverse's first NFT sneaker museum. A sneaker DAO, in fact, was the main idea, and this is cool. I think we did this in November of 2021. And had a couple of parties here. I mean, I really love this build. It's very similar in style to the one we did earlier. I love how open it is. I love the open rectangular space that you can jump up and down from floor to floor. I love the concrete. I think this is one of my favorite buildings. I could go on about how much I love this building.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm trying to load up. It's being a
Is
little
it not loading?
a little picky for me right now, which is always the minute you have to show something. It's like
I
everything's
mean,
been working beautifully, right? And then
until you're in front of everybody.
yeah, I'm used to it. Murphy's Law is like my sidekick, you know? It's just like cool. Okay, so I gotta
You got in?
there we go. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm actually still baby. So you're saying it's the parcel next to Dollhouse, right? Or which way do I go?
That's right. Take a look at the map and you'll see like a bunch of people kind of
Okay.
congregating over. It's east, directly east. Hey, Morph.
Okay.
Nice
Oh,
to
I'm going
see
the
you.
wrong way. There we go. I know it's taking a while to load it, and I think so
I
it's
see
that
you,
one
Fred
right there.
Giants. I'm jumping up
Yay,
and
there it
down.
is.
We see
I
you.
know. I see you.
You're like
That's
a
how we
little.
get.
You're so neon. We can see you from so far away. Okay,
I
so
know. This is
here it is.
cool. Okay, beautiful.
You can see a lot of the same kind of style and look that I'm gonna watch your stream too, just to make sure that you're good.
Okay, I'm gonna open up my screen is kind of a little small. There we go. Okay, the aspect ratio. I always forget. You have to like play around with it so you can actually. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll follow you.
Follow me. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, this is Drip Society. We made it in a very similar style as we did the first one, but just kind of bigger and better. And it was supposed to be the first sneaker DAO in Decentraland and maybe even the metaverse. You can see on the wall here, we've done some stuff with the artist Burton Morris over Art Week of last year. He's like one of the main artists of pop art. You know, you have like Andy Warhol, you have Lichtenstein, you know, those were his inspirations and in some cases his contemporaries. And he really defined pop art as we know it today, in my opinion, especially really commercialized pop art, where you see he was one of the artists on the old show Friends. And he's just done so much that when I look at his website, I recognize so many of these things. I'm just a huge Burton Morris fan. So we were really excited to be able to work with him and bring him into Art Week. We'd work with Dapcraft to do some of these puffer jackets, which is very similar
Yeah, I
to the
remember those.
to the
Those are
Apollo
beautiful.
jackets, but they're so nice, aren't they? I don't have one myself, but I don't want one. I kind of want
I
this
know.
one.
I've been wanting one of these forever. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize like exactly the story behind these. That's so cool that you and like, oh yeah, they're all beautiful.
You know,
Look at
and
that.
Burton has come into the space a couple of times, and he's actually been on Beyond the NFT with Sinful, and he's got so many great stories and really feels a kindredness with the metaverse. He's one of those artists that just like tells you to take his work and build off it. You know, he's all about collaboration. For an old guy who's not Web3, I think he's really got that spirit of Web3 in him.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, for many years I taught like silk screening and recycled fashion, and it's all
Mm.
about like getting inspired by each other, and like you kind of
Mhm.
take an idea, make it your own, and like mix and match, especially when you can make your own fabric. So yeah, I come from like that background of like everyone just like working together. It's like, oh, that's a cool pattern. Can I grab your screen? You make your own thing. So I love that aspect of a lot of the culture here in Decentraland.
That's super cool that you can find the string that ties between something that's kind of so physical and working with your hands to something that's so virtual.
Yeah, I used to have a studio. I miss having my studio. It's so much fun. Cool. I will follow you up the stairs. Let's see where she's. Do, do, do.
I mean, there's not much else going on here, to be honest. We haven't done a show here in a long time, but I was just talking to Prager Matus, who is the some of the bigger investors in Banquet this morning, and they were also talking about, hey, why don't we do a show at Drip Society soon? So we may be starting something up here soon, which is super
Nice.
exciting.
We could, yeah, always keep us posted so we can tell
Of
everybody. I
course,
know I
of
I
course.
need to start like a better listing of all the amazing events happening with all the grantees. Every week there's so much happening. Uh,
Mhm.
Look at Peanut Butter with his. He always has the coolest outfits. I love that jacket, half
I
jacket, half.
know, and that neural hair
It's
is so
sick.
nice too.
I know.
Yeah, I actually was thinking too that I mean, I love that we have the events page at Decentraland. Hit X and you see the events. But I also think that there's a lot of room for other websites and other sources for events as well. Just like there's not one marketplace in the world, there's lots of marketplaces in the world. I would like to see, more sources for our events.
Yeah, I
And
was
ways
seeing.
that
I
we
mean,
can kinda curate that as well, right? Sometimes I'll look at the events page and there's like
totally.
50 events, but there's only like 5 I wanna go to. I'd love to be able to curate that in some way.
Yeah, they just started earlier today in AMAs. They were discussing they're working on their favorites tab.
Mhm,
So you'll be able to favorite events at least and have a favorites section where you can go to. And it's in a sense it's the beginning of that, what you're saying. So
mhm.
that's pretty interesting. And also another thing I saw that you were posting about, which is kind of along the lines of what you're saying, is I love like that you guys did the spatial cross metaverse event and
Mm.
collaborations like that are what I've been so into for the last couple of years, and maybe talk a little bit about that. I think do you guys have a parcel there, or did you collab with somebody? They let you like how did that take place?
Well, I think you're talking about International Dollhouse, which is something that we did, let's kinda stroll back over to Dollhouse actually while we talk
Okay,
about
okay.
this. This is something that we did, first last March in Dollhouse when we were really just brand new. We worked with a company called, Babes Only in Chicago, and this is like a female-run art and music collective. It was their idea to do something in the metaverse, and that was really successful. This year, we wanted to do something even bigger, and that's why we went cross metaverse. I had just the month before done our smaller series called Vertex there, and in that case, we worked with Hi Cece. She was in her company CJ Meta Events. They had a build that they let us use. We could have used that one again, but for some reason, I can't even remember how it happened. I started talking to Exclusable, and I don't know if you know who they are, but they do these really, really high-end luxury builds inside spatial. I mean, everybody's seen. I think the Dubai penthouse is really quite popular over there. Being able to reach out with them and talking to them about the fact that it was International Women's Month, and we really wanted to work together to do something to promote that. They were so open about letting me use 4 of their different builds to host this show in spatial, and then we would cross back and forth between Decentraland. One of them like was just this awesome sort of surreal um mansion with like flying whales and jet skis, and I
Wow,
mean it was
wicked.
just so nice. Sometimes I just go there and hang out there just for myself. As a ski chalet, the Dubai penthouse I mentioned earlier, I think that was in maybe Paris or in Athens, the one that we used. And oh god, what was the last one? I'm totally blanking out now. It'll come to me. But they were awesome to work with. It's not easy, I think, when you're working with. We had 8 DJs and 4 artists, and we partnered with Mixcloud, which is like sort of the SoundCloud of Europe. We had a lot going on every week, and also because everybody had volunteered their time, we had to do like a lot of promo and a lot of exposure, which is something of course you want to do with all your partners. So it was kind of a big thing that was going on. Probably not the best thing to do while I'm also doing Fashion Week. It was a tough month, but it was super successful, and I loved it. And we had DJs from Ibiza, from Costa Rica, from America. We even had a DJ from Kenya, which I thought was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was a really good experience. I'm still kind of coming down off it.
I can imagine. No, that sounds wonderful. I know I've been like reading up all the things you do, your updates. There's so much in there that like it's just so fun to follow. And sometimes, it's hard to like keep up with all the things happening, like you were saying in Decentraland. And it's always great to come together and get to hear like, the personal story and the work behind all these events. Because a lot of times people don't necessarily realize how much work goes into a simple event, right? Just coordinating
I
all the
think
people,
so.
right?
It is, but you want people to feel like it's easy and fun, and
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this was just something we threw together at the last minute, and didn't really realize that it was such a grind for weeks to put it on. But I couldn't do it without all the baby dolls with Gucci, who is just, especially with International Dollhouse. I could definitely not have done it without Gucci. He's been helping me as an event coordinator and just as my friend as well. He's just so great at everything he does. So yeah, I want to put a big shout out to Gucci for that, and also all the dolls for helping with the vast amounts of promotion that needed to be done last month.
Oh, what happened? There we are. No, I was going to ask about that because I think with your recent grant, it said that you were able to hire an assistant event coordinator or a community manager. Is that who Gucci is, or he's separate from that?
That's definitely who Gucci is.
Awesome.
As it went on, we haven't hired a community manager yet. I don't think that we need that as much. We have Blease that's kind of helping us with a little content creation. And that's another thing too, is that all these events that go on, I really think it's important to even if you can, like, have a dedicated person to film this stuff, make videos, make content about it, because once the
Yeah.
event is over, it kind of,
Yep.
it kind of floats away. But really what we want to do is get the mainstream seeing that cool stuff is happening in Decentraland. So we need to
Yeah.
kind of have like an archives of this. And if we can get, I mean, I'm using Neo to do my videography of almost all my big events, and I just think he's awesome. So he really makes these events look great. And we push it out there on social, push it out there on YouTube, on TikTok if we can, and just try and get the mainstream attention to come here.
Yeah.
I know that the onboarding can be a lot of friction. So if we can show them that the rewards are great if they can make it through, then that's good.
Yeah, and
So
it's
yeah.
wonderful to see. I mean, like in the comments of your grant and also just from people in general that I hear, it seems like your spot is such a almost like this little onboarding mecca for newbies for everybody to come. They feel welcome. They feel like, oh, cool. Like kind of they get the vibe and they understand the culture of Decentraland. So it's really cool to see how this has become that hub.
I'm so proud of that, and thank you for saying that.
I had another. I have like a bunch of questions. I'm like, okay, let's see. You cross metaverse. Oh yeah, I'm curious about like, okay, when you're coming up with events and coordination and all this stuff. Obviously, just the Metaverse Fashion Week. Like, what is your kind of like brainstorm process when you're working with your team? You're with let's say Gucci or yourself, or like, what is your madness in that?
Oh, so many. I would love to say that we have like a whole roadmap planned out, and this is all stuff that we do because we've researched it so well. But the truth is that's not it at all. It's really just like conversations that we're having, like, oh man, I love these pants, these look like Y2K, hey, let's have a Y2K party. It happens really, really spontaneously and organically. For some of the bigger events like International Dollhouse and Gucci series Vertex, we definitely do a lot more planning, and I'm starting to get better with that, putting together pitch decks and talking about concepts. But a lot of the time it's really just like some little meme or something we're discussing, and the next thing you know, we're crafting a party around it. We've got some really exciting ideas coming up for next month that we're going to put into place after Absolute. And
Nice.
yeah, I mean, lots of opportunities coming up. One of the big things we wanted to do this year was collab with a lot of other communities. We did it with Vroomway. We've done it with Knights of Antrim. I've got a couple more planned. I think it's really cool to bring kind of the WAGME party that we normally do. Like for instance, for WAGME Vroomway, we went over there. We got some special wearables made, and just bring the communities together is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I missed that one, but I loved when people I'm seeing a lot more of that in Decentraland. Like the
Mhm.
collaboration with like, just even with our in one of the presentations, right? They were saying, oh, with Meta, was it Metagami Mall? Like they were saying they had special wearables, they do this stuff, and it's really a great way to bridge and like support each other and help each other grow. So I
Yeah,
love
absolutely. I mean, I don't know if Metagami Mall is still in here, but I definitely want to talk to them.
Yeah, they're awesome. I know. I'm thinking already. I'm like, ooh, they'd be fun to have in-world meetup too. So come back for that.
Yeah, for sure. I love what they're doing. Their place is so popular, and I even love the way that they describe themselves as well. I mean, just this mall where brands can come in and almost have this kind of turnkey, experiential, interactive game right away. I love it.
Yeah. And I'm curious, like in terms of like, let's say, for yeah, I always love to ask people is like for new people wanting to come in and wanting to do, like, start hosting event, possibly do a grant. What are some of the tips that you learned on your own process for your grant that might be helpful to them?
Oh, I think definitely don't come in with getting a grant in mind right away. It's probably
Yeah,
not
no, I
the
agree. I
not
totally
the way.
agree.
I mean, come in, make friends, hang out, make a plan, serve others. Try
Yes.
and figure out what kind of skills you have to serve others. And then once you're here and established for a while, then maybe think about getting a grant. I don't think that that should be your goal when you come here.
No, I
I
agree. I'm always telling people that too. It's like collaborate or like, reach out to communities, see how you can help and see, like you're saying, see what your skills are, what you can contribute, how you can support. All that is a fun way to start and start instead of like, I want money. It's like, well, the community's gonna let you know. That's not the
Yeah,
way, right?
or
Like,
I have an idea and this is how it should be. I mean, I think you need to come in and respect the community and learn about it as well. And I say that as well to lots of the brands and kind of the external projects that I talk to when they say like, how can we come in? What kind of activation should we do? I always start with that. It's about accessing the community, and the best way to do that is to find out ways where you can serve and support the community.
yeah, no,
And
I
in
love that.
turn, they will support you.
Yeah, totally. I have a question. You've probably been asked this before, but like, I'm so curious. How do you pick your outfits? Because they're always so dope and
What?
they're always so cool. You like always have the coolest things on. I'm like, oh my god, where's that? Where'd you get that? Is it more like you collect stuff and then you just randomly, or do you like spend a lot of time, or what is your process for your outfits?
I mean, I do spend a lot of time on my backpack, but I think that that's kind of true of all of us.
Yes.
DCL culture is selfie culture. I was just talking to, gosh, I can't remember who it was, and I'm sorry if it was somebody in this room. I was just talking to somebody about VR chat, and they're like, "Oh, it's really
Yes.
cool there too." And I have gone a couple of times, and it has been cool, but I really hate that I can't see myself. I'm always in first person. You have to go and look in a mirror if you want to see yourself, and I don't want that because I'm constantly looking at my outfit, looking at other people's outfits to see if their clothes would look better on me. I love the new passport feature. It took me a while to get
Yes.
used to, but now I'm constantly clicking people to see what it is that they're wearing. I love seeing how people put their outfits together. The baby dolls and I talked about it yesterday, how people can be wearing the exact same thing and yet they all look so different because of
Yes.
their little tweaks and customizations that they do. I think that's so cool to see people's personalities come out. One of the best things about
Yes.
Decentraland is our wearables market. I really, really feel that that's what gives us a leg up above almost all the other metaverses right now, is that we have a not just a wearables market, but it's not just full skins. We have lots of different layers. I can't wait to be more like, I think Roblox has different layered wearables, so I can wear a coat over my skin. I
Yes.
mean, that's just going to be next level
Yes.
when we can do that.
I know, it's so funny. I'm always showing, like, my nieces who are, like, 9 and wait, 9 7 and 9, and they're always
Oh,
like, "Wait a minute, like, this is like Roblox, isn't it?" And they're all, like, wearable creators, they all put on events. They all do all this kinda stuff, so that I'm
your
always, like,
7 and
planting the little
9-year-old
seeds.
nieces are wearable creators
Yeah.
and putting on events. Oh my god.
Yes. They've been
They're
doing these
coming
things since
for
they're
us. They're
5.
coming
Oh,
for us.
yeah. They're gonna come and be like, "I got this," They come in here like, "What's so different?" It's like, "I've been doing this stuff forever," Like,
That's
it's so
awesome. I
cool.
love I love to hear that. That's really great. I mean, creators from that early on. But I mean, we did it when we were kids too, right? We would make like little pictures and little paper dolls, but I guess these kids have access to an actual marketplace and an
I know.
economy where they can wow, they're
Wow.
like little tiny capitalists.
Totally. I
I
love
love
that.
it.
One of the things I love about, like, what you're doing as well is, like, creating, like, events that are, like, multicultural, giving
Mhm.
more women access. Like, what is that process like for you in terms of, like, reaching out to these communities? There's a lot of, I mean, I'm sure now that a lot of people know who you are, do you get a lot, are you bombarded with people reaching out to you and wanting that collaboration, or do you do a lot of outreach still yourself?
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm bombarded. I think our community is still intimate enough that these conversations just happen really naturally and organically. Carnival was a great experience, which I did a couple of months ago with DCL Brazil, who's always been a really great supporter of ours. And I really love the idea of bringing in cultural events like Carnival. We did Latin Festival last year. I think that the Asian community does a lot of really great events. I would love for us to do some collaboration with the Asian community here. We've had a Japanese party here recently where the time zones were a bit crazy, so I just kind of turned everything on, but I was sleeping. But Kenji and his crew came in and kind of did the party here, which is great. I would, more opportunities for that. If you guys want to have a party here, I will definitely try and set it up so you can have something at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. The time zones is
That's awesome.
crazy, right?
I know. It's like there's so much I want to do, and it's like, oh, I missed that one. I had to stay up till 3, and then usually I have to get up early. I have a kid, so he goes to school, so I'm
Oh,
up at like 5. So it's like
what time zone are you?
in Colorado, so Mountain Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so bad, but it's kind of a nice midpoint between a lot of things. But like you were saying, there's so many events from different communities all over,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, I mean, you can, like you're saying, I can record it, or usually like when it's cool and the people have recorded it, at least you can catch a glimpse, and that's definitely always awesome. But not there's so many things happening that are like that will be forever lost, right? Because if it's not
Yeah.
recorded, then it's like, oh, I missed it.
Yeah, exactly. And Dollhouse too. I mean, we're guilty of it as well. I'm on PST, so I've always, selfishly done times that work for me, and not really realizing that that's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning for Germany or some of our other friends. So we definitely want to focus on doing some earlier activations and earlier parties this year.
Yeah. And what were like some of your like favorite moments during Metaverse Fashion Week this
Metaverse
past?
Fashion Week. Oh, I love the closing party. The DKNY closing party I thought was really, really awesome. I'll talk a little bit about that. They had actually reached out to me. I think from the foundation gave them my contact, and what they wanted to do was get an artist to do the DKNY sign on the side of their building. They really wanted to work with a community artist, which I thought was a really cool thing to do, because that's always something I'm, pushing, right? Work with the community. So I thought that was great that they were already thinking about that.
Nice.
And then through further conversations, we discovered they had an art gallery. They were looking at ways to fill the art gallery. So they reached out to the community and asked 10 or 11 of us to also make kind of small DKNY Web3 versions of the DKNY logo. And they had a whole art gallery there that was like that. I thought that was great. Other people that did stuff like that, I mean, I think Dolce & Gabbana and Dress X and Tommy Hilfiger had those Mid-Journey competitions. I really loved the collaboration that they were doing with people in the community. I thought that was great. One night, really late at night, I was running into the Cash Labs building to take a
nice.
picture, and it was just me, and I went slammed right into another person, and it was David Cash. And we like jumped back and stood at each other, and then he like waved at me, and I was like, oh my god, I need a picture, because I just really admire what he does in the space and what he does for Metaverse Fashion Week. I think he's just like a huge personality, and so that was fun for me. I had like my little fangirl moment.
Oh,
That
awesome.
nobody
It was like my
saw.
whole life.
To be totally honest, I was too nervous to even take the selfie. I pretended I took a selfie and ran
Oh.
away. I didn't even get the selfie. I was
It's like
all
the story of
shaky.
my life in Decentraland, like eternal fangirl dork, and I'm like, you're so cool, teach me. Like everyone here is like, I mean, for a long time, I think for about 10 months, I was a Decentraland reporter, and it was fun because I got to like be like, hey, can I interview you? Because I mean, I got to learn so much from all the creators, and so much has changed over the last 2.5 years. Like all the wearables for one, obviously, are like, it's so fun to look at old videos, and I'm just like in these dorky clothes, like walking around, like and I was like, I thought I was so cool because I had one wearable, like, and to see how like to me, like, it's just been fascinating to see how that community has flourished of creators and builders and worlds, and everything that's been happening is just like, I just appreciate it so much.
Okay, well, I want to ask you, what was your first wearable?
Oh my god. Oh wait, well, I don't even oh my god, I gotta go check it out. I don't even remember which one it was. Let me see. I'm gonna look now. Now I feel guilty not knowing this.
I
I have
would
like my
love to know what
favorite one, but
everybody's first wearable was.
I
I'd love to know what
know.
everyone's first wearable. I think like that would make like a really cool Twitter
Oh
thread,
my
is
god.
just for everyone to
Yes.
post your first wearable and your earliest picture. I mean, I was dorky. I used to sport a mohawk. I mean, I
Oh,
was
I
really
had those for a while. Yep, I remember the mohawk was
totally
like
different.
cool. I had them. Of course, all of us have the Atari sweaters. You're like, it's like a bunch of when it was like the one cool thing that happened, and like now I'm like totally after this. I'm gonna look and find out. And it's so funny because I've made like wearables I was part of different grants, and then I made one myself, and it's such a dorky, simple one that it's just like it was when I was like, it's a shirt and just like nothing really changed. But now, like, I don't even like to show people like 'cause
Well,
it's
it's
so
come a
dorky.
long way in the last year. The first
I
wearables we
know.
did too, I think I did like a head that's like a television head with a swirl on it. And I mean, I
That
still love it.
sounds
It's
cool
always
though.
gonna have like a soft spot in it. It was cool. But I mean, you see now such a, like Doki's faces and hair
I
is going
know. Those
everywhere.
are
And
just
Murph Jessick's next to me in a mink jacket and I mean, there's just so many gorgeous outfits I can't even say. I mean, look at Seafoam back there. That's insane when
I
he's got
know.
that flower crown. Oh, I want it so much.
There's
I'm
so
gonna
much.
have
I
to
know
get
that's
it.
part of the fun now that you can like easily click on somebody and check out everything they wear, and you're just like, oh my god, I have to buy that, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, it's
Yes.
dangerous. It's dangerous coming, but yeah, I was
One
hoping if
another thing. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say another thing that I loved about Fashion Week too, and I just see Honig and Blease in the suits here, was the collab that I did with Decentral Games, and
Oh,
we
cool.
did like a couple of outfits, um, Future Blossom and Future Pink they were called. And what I loved about these wearables was that there's shine on it, so there's some utility that
Ooh,
allows you to go and play token gated poker games inside the casinos. So this
see
is,
that?
gamification of wearables, the gamification of fashion.
Yes, for sure. I love that
And then
aspect of
taking
it.
it to another level that it's not just like, oh, you need a t-shirt to get in, but like actually leaning into the fact that it's cool, fashionate stuff that you might want to wear all the time anyway. And then plus
Yes,
there's shine on it. So I like that.
yeah.
I also talked about in Baby Doll in the Decentraland Twitter space yesterday, something else I'm loving seeing, which is stuff like the Doki Pass, where you buy an
Yes,
NFT
I
and then you
love
get so
that.
many perks. Do you have a Doki Pass?
I've been say like I tried to buy it a couple times for some reason it wasn't letting me, but I've been like it's been on my like must buy list for like a
It's a
couple
must
weeks. So
buy.
yes,
And
I
then I
know.
think I read something today too with Dr. Drip that he has, if you own 3, then you get other things dropped to you. I love these kind
Ooh,
of,
yes.
little perks and little systems that people are doing with wearables. Just
I've
takes
got
it
a
to the
bunch of
next
Dr.
level.
Drip. I've got a couple wallets. I love Dr. Drip stuff because I in real life I love hoodies and like he always makes such stuff that I'm like I would totally wear. Like it's
Well,
just like
I just bought his hoodie and it just got
see
delivered
like
like last week. I've been living
oh
in
you
it.
have a real one. See this is
It's
I love this
real.
one right here. Look at this one. Oh wait, let me see. We clicked on. It's just such a comfy thing that basically it's the kind of thing that
Oh
I would
yeah,
love
that's
to
a nice
wear.
one. Yeah,
It's just
that's a
so
nice one. The
comfy,
white version
cozy.
of that is so nice too.
Oh, I need to look. See, your
And
danger.
I know he made a bucket hat that goes with that with Doki hair on the
Yes.
bucket hat. That hair is
Oh,
Doki hair, and
cool.
if it's Doki hair, you gotta buy it. So I love
Yep.
that.
I'm gonna
I
after this.
never
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead, sir.
I was gonna say I never wear
Just
hats, and I
ramble.
bought that hat. No, we can
No,
talk about
I
shopping
love.
all day
I
long.
know. If you go in there, it's a dangerous land. It's funny because this is kind of like my not my burner wallet, but semi burner, and my other one has like my fancy wearables. I keep them on my ledger safely, because I'm just like I don't want them ever to get taken. I'm like all my cool ones I put there, and then this one I'm like, but I have to keep some cool stuff to wear. So then it's
Yeah,
always
you
like
do.
I need to buy a couple of them. So one is safe, and one I like, you can
Wow,
gamble with, and
hardcore
hopefully
investor here, hardcore investor. I cannot take anything out of my backpack. I'm like a hoarder. I would be a hoarder if you could hoard things inside Decentraland. Thank God you can't. My
did
backpack
you
is so slow.
I know. I can imagine. I know this one is like I have like I guess 3 places. I know it's so many. I have too many places with wearables. I wanted to see if did you check out like another event that I went to in Mesro Fashion Week that was so much fun is the Vuelta Bay's event was so cool. Did you
Oh
check hers?
yeah, it was so nice. Really, really good. We had a private tour of that a couple of weeks before Metaverse Fashion
Ooh,
Week, which was nice. We did a stream that kind of highlighted some of the community events with Decentral Games, and hers was one of them. She is so thoughtful. They are so
yes,
thoughtful at
yes.
everything they do. I remember when I first contacted them and was like, "Oh, you should, do a community event." She's like, I'll have to think of something." And then the next day she comes up with like this amazing event. that was, touched your heart, beautiful to the eyes. It's like, man. So yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I've just loved all the projects she's done. They're beautiful stuff. This
And the
is so
whole
cool. I
Vivian
don't know if
Westwood thing was so cool. I mean,
yes,
her story behind her, which I knew who she was, but I didn't really know who she was. And I
I
think that
know.
that's a successful activation when we all came out of there,
Yes.
knowing more about Vivian Westwood. And I think she would have loved the metaverse, right? After you
Yep.
learn about
Yep.
her, she would have loved this with the anti-fashion and the spirit of collaboration.
It's like her build is like, I always speak, for many years I was a STEM educator. It's almost like you're eating your like, your cupcake with a little like hidden, she had the hidden broccoli in there. You're learning and enjoying yourself, right? You're just like as a kid, as a mom, you're like, how do I feed my kid good shit? Like you get sneaky. And her space is a beautiful example of like the mastery of that on a level that you don't see the broccoli, but it's all broccoli, it's like it's like we all learned something. And yeah, I went back to that space a bunch just to like, and I love how like it's funny when they were doing like the fashion shows in there and you could hear, the
Mhm.
background sounds of the protests. It was so cool to have that
Very
ambient.
cool. And Bay's
But
lovely voice describing each item of clothing.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, that
I
was a
don't
great activation. The Cristobal Balenciaga one was pretty cool too. All of those pieces that they made were actually from vintage sketches that they recently discovered and
Ooh.
had never been made into clothes before. So I
Oh,
thought it was
wow.
pretty cool that like these 100, probably not 100, maybe like 80-year-old sketches, which I got to see, were
Wow.
then just turned into metaverse wearables. I thought that that really was the epitome of the theme of the Fashion Week as well for Metaverse Fashion Week.
Wow. Yeah, you need to do, I mean, I'm sure like I know you have updates, but you need to do like a video blog post of all your experiences. I think it's great when like, different members stream and Twitch, but it's just like there's so many like all these beautiful stories that like
Mhm.
we were saying, like disappear. And it's like in 10 years it's gonna be so crazy and different in here. And like or whatever happens in the crazy metaverse space. Like yeah, these are little magical moments we're in. And is
Exactly,
that
little magical moments, and they can be ephemeral, is that the word? They can be ephemeral. They
yeah,
they
that's
they're
I love
very
that.
they don't last very long, so we should try and record them for
I
future
know. And then
posterity.
sometimes not recording is beautiful too. I'm always
Oh,
in that
that's
like
very zen. That's a
yeah.
very zen thing to say.
I have that dilemma a lot because I'm always like outside mountain biking, running around. Sometimes I'm like, look at that beautiful cloud. And I'm like, I want to take a picture. But sometimes I'm like, no, you know what? It doesn't want a picture. It wants me just to like be here in the moment looking at its
Oh,
beauty.
that's a
Like,
sign of maturity. That's good. I admire that. I am not there yet. I take pictures of everything all day long, all the time, all the time. But I
no, I do.
appreciate
I
that
take a lot of
somebody's
pictures
out
too. I'm
there.
totally not that zen. I'm just like, but sometimes those moments you're just like, you're in this like flow state, right? In creativity, you have these flow states that a lot of us like appreciate and so love. And sometimes you just have to let it be what it is instead of like our human brain likes to categorize and put in these little, whatever. But
Oh, beautiful. I like that. Flow state.
if anybody here who's is here in the audience has any questions, feel free. I know Odd Job always has great questions in AMAs. If you have anything you want to ask or share, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah,
Usually
please.
people get shy sometimes. Or they like to listen. It's just fun to like it's so funny how a lot of times like I'm working and then like there'll be an event and I'll just like show it there and it's like and it feels like you have this community just hanging out with you, because a lot of times we work alone, but sometimes it's nice to have these like, oh, I'm here dancing and here I'm working. I don't know if you ever do that, but it's I kind of do that.
Yeah,
I
I
have a
definitely do.
question.
Oh,
Oh, go for it.
yes.
Odd job. Woo!
Hi, Ajam.
Hey, hi. So tomorrow is the Absolute Land
Yes.
activation, right? It's the beginning of that. What can you give us maybe, not alpha, but can you give us like a teaser of what's going to happen tomorrow? Because
Oh, cool.
I know I'm looking forward to it. It was probably my favorite activation from the whole previous year. So what can we expect at Absolute Land starting
It's gonna be
tomorrow?
the same great vibes as we had last year. The building is similar, but also different. Um, we have a very interesting game that everybody can play at the same time, which is something that we didn't have
Ooh.
last year. Well, there'll be a leaderboard and exclusive prizes for the people who get to the top of that leaderboard. And other than that, it's just going to be, that same great party that we had last year. That's all I'm going to tell you.
You're good. You told us a lot, but not much. I love it.
Okay, I guess that'll have to do. I guess I'll have to go and find out
I'm
for
really excited
myself.
that they're coming back. I wasn't sure. I think it was kind of like we didn't know whether they were going to do it or not for the last. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. It was very touch and go whether they were going to come back or not. So I'm really glad they decided, yes, let's do this. And Parcel Party, and Dap House, who have been working with them on the build, did a really good job, really, really fast. We've got Grizzle Gatsby on that again, and Dogman, as well as a couple of coders from Dap House. They did a really fantastic job so far. So I hope you're going to like it. I particularly like, there's some opportunities for selfies that I think are really cute. And again, that's all I'm going to say about it. Yeah, I'm excited. It's 3 days, guys. So cancel all your
nice.
plans. Cancel all your plans. Get a bottle of Absolute Vodka and let's do it.
See, I had a bad
I got another
experience when I was
question.
15 with vodka. That's all. That kind of. That's all I have to say.
Shh, be quiet. Be quiet. There are no bad experiences with vodka. Shh, they could be listening.
Dumb 15-year-old. Yes.
It really is my drink of choice, so that's good.
Oh, cool. No, I'm very much looking forward to. Oh, go ahead, Odd Job. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. No, know that Bodega on a blockchain with activation created by Last Slice, that is something that was up for a Webby award, and I know that Absolute Land is also up for a Webby award. So actually the question is to everybody here listening, have you gone and voted for your favorite Decentraland activations for Webby awards?
Yeah, I think that's a
Paste
great
that
way
link.
to.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll try and paste that link if you can, AJ. I think it's a great way for us to just get some exposure again to the outside world. There's always a lot of talk about Roblox. There's always a lot of talk about Fortnite, and those are great metaverses. But DCL, we got a lot going on too. So if we can vote and post pictures as much as we can out there, that's the way to go.
Peanut Butter just said he thought the vote ended already. Did it end already?
Did it end?
No.
What? Oh, well.
Well, if you guys, you can always post it in general in our general chat and Discord, because I remember seeing that and I meant to go vote, but it's always like in the middle of a meeting and I'm like, oh, I need to do that, and so I can't run away and not really pay attention. So I have to, but I remember seeing that to vote. I don't know if you have the link, Odd Job, please post it. It'd be awesome. But
yeah, that would
this
be
has
great.
been amazing. Thank you so much, Gianfoco. Always great to hear your stories and your events, and I'm looking forward to. So tomorrow, what time does it actually start?
It starts at noon PST and goes till almost midnight. So I want to see you there. It's going to be good.
So
thank
you said
so
3
much
days.
Yes, 3 days, and then the following weekend 3 days as well.
Oh wow,
so it's 2
cool.
weekends. It runs the span of Coachella.
The voting is open until Thursday, April 20th.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, we've got time. I mean, I wish that we
So
could.
yeah, I'm just trying for the Absolute and other
Snapple.
DCL activation votes. So whatever,
Cool.
I can just put the basic link up here, and then people can find it. But yeah, it's open till the 20th.
Awesome. Thank you so much, AJ. And thank you for inviting me today and for making it so easy and so conversational. I am always deathly nervous every time I have
You
to
don't show it
speak
at all.
publicly.
You're such a natural. That's why I was like, she's going to be great. You never know when you invite somebody how they're going to be. Sometimes it's like crickets. You're like, okay, that's why I usually have a bunch of questions just in case. But you're like, I knew with you from my past experience of what I've seen. I'm like, yeah, you're definitely so natural at this, and I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're super busy, but it's wonderful to see. And please keep us posted on any events upcoming so we can share it on the Decentraland DAO YouTube and Twitter.
I will.
And however
Thank
else.
you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Guys, stick around a few more hours. We're going to have a chill out sesh with Gucci. I'm trying to get everybody to get their they're sitting down and lying down and relaxing emotes. maybe we can go upstairs and just like kind of lay down and listen to some music. I think that'll be fun tonight. I need the
Ooh,
break.
nice. So that's in a couple hours here. Is it an event or just like you're just cool?
It
Okay,
is an event. It is in fact an event.
cool. I will post that here and I will keep this open and hang out later. Awesome.
Yay.
Well, yay. Thanks everyone who stuck around, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll have all this up probably in the next day or two, the town hall and the in-world meetup portion on our YouTube. And yeah, feel free to always reach out with any ideas, comments, or ways we can do some more cool events. And yeah. Guess
Thank
that's it.
you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Bye. Bye, Acha.
Bye.
Bye, Tampoco. Bye, Peanut Butter and Meta Trickers and Ingester.
See ya,
And
see ya.
see ya. See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to close out here. Hope everyone has a good